We're like friends. I mean, we're sisters.
Sisters by blood, friends by choice.
Incredibly smart, intelligent, and funny.
Oh,
Correct.
Stories for days.
Mom, you're crashing out. I feel like, should we?
Do we want to talk about it right now?
We can talk about
Let's
it.
just let it flow.
Let it go. What the fuck? Good jeans.
Yeah.
Messy jeans. Welcome back to Messy Jeans.
Welcome, everyone.
I'm Carly.
I'm Cindy.
It's nice to have you here again. And we had a little bit of a struggle this last week with releasing our last episode because we're messy.
Yeah. We can just use that
We
for
chose
anything.
the perfect title.
Yeah. Yeah.
We chose the perfect title because we can't record this week. Sorry, we're just messy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just really messy.
It's like the Mormon church, when they're like,
It's very...
we're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
But the doctrine is.
The people aren't perfect,
Yeah.
but the church is perfect.
Yes.
The podcast is not perfect, but we are perfect.
Ooh, exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
We're on the same page.
Uh-huh. So, we're back. We're back. We're ready to record. And we're going to talk about some fun things today. Some crazy Mormon man shit, which will be super funny.
Crazy Mormon man shit. We're going to have like a whole line at this point. Messy
Yeah.
by Mormon, crazy Mormon man shit.
Crazy Mormon man shit. And Mormon man tears, Mormon man madness.
Mhm.
There's so many things that we could say.
Yeah.
So let's start off with a prayer. No, I'm just kidding. I said that earlier. Really, it was just like nature. Just like, dear Heavenly Father.
I still think about that before I eat.
Do you think about praying before you eat?
Yes, like before like a group meal. Like if
think
I'm
about-
having yes,
Really?
yes, it's still in my head.
Still
of like,
ingrained.
we're just gonna start eating.
Like heathens?
We're just gonna start
Like
eating.
cavemen. Okay. All right. That's fine. Well, let's start off by talking about what's cunty today. And I was thinking about, okay, what is cunty for me? And last week I talked about cunty men, and I wanted to talk about cunty positive, cunty negative today. So for me, I wanted to talk about something cunty positive. And so for me, I'm going to talk about something positive that's cunty, right? And I can do shit. I am cunty in the best way. I get shit done, okay? Let me tell you something. First of all, we started a podcast at the perfect time because you are moved.
Yeah.
You moved.
Mm-hmm.
That which is in and of itself extremely stressful.
Very dysregulating.
Nobody likes moving. And I started a new job. We are prepping our home to sell, which is very stressful. But all of that, I'm still doing my job. I managed to set this podcast up, and without no knowledge of audio, anything like that, I managed to make it sound good. And I'm like, I can get shit done, right?
Yes.
I like being as stressful as it's been. I do like being busy because when I'm busy, I don't have time to think about feelings and how I feel about things.
What is that like? What is
I
that
do not
like?
have time to feel because I don't have time to think. And because I'm just constantly in go mode. I'm like, okay, I need to do this and do this and do this. And when I have so much in my brain, I don't need to feel things. And that's how I like to operate.
See, it's so funny because my life is insanely busy as well right now, but my feelings always take over.
Yeah.
They're like, is someone mad at you? Are you
Someone
a
must be
piece of
mad
shit?
at- Mhm.
Are you in trouble? And then I can't get shit done.
Yeah. It does. We need to meld.
Can we
We gotta balance each other
come
out
up with
somehow.
some sort of drug that
Yeah.
we can take?
MDMA.
Love.
Which I may or may not have done that recently, but I don't know how much I'm going to talk about that on the pod. Amazing.
So cunty.
So cunty. And then the negative thing was that school stuff during the month of May is a cunt.
Sucks.
It sucks ass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who thought it was a good idea? What kind of government agency? The Department of Public Education?
Well, apparently
Thought
that's
it
gone
was-
now.
That's bullshit. Okay? Should be illegal
Mm-hmm.
to schedule that many things if you have even if you have one kid. for the promotions, the graduations, the parties, the singing, and this. Like I love seeing my kids and doing stuff, but there's so many things.
I had to take off work to go to kindergarten promotion. Like,
It's kindergarten.
I know.
It's kindergarten. All
I was
right.
like, I need the money. Like,
but it's, I know, but I'm saying it's kindergarten, like, because it doesn't matter.
I know. No, exactly. No, exactly.
She's not going to remember.
No, I know. But I went.
You did, because you're a good mom. And we are good moms, and we go, and we get shit done. But I would just like to say that I will not stand for that. And that is my cunty negative rant. Go ahead. What's cunty for you this week?
Well, it's a cunty thing that I have not told you about.
Ooh.
Yeah. So remember that guy that I kissed in rehab?
Yes.
We fucked.
Like recently?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
So he lives in North Dakota.
Okay.
So he was here
North Dakota's a cunt.
randomly.
Okay.
And we've been sexting for the good past 4 years. Like, have had a very strong sexting relationship for 4 years.
Okay.
So there's a lot of buildup, tons of buildup. Okay. It was awful.
Oh.
Horrible.
Okay.
Like, it was awful. It was awful. He was weird. And I just,
even after all that tension.
I know. So I think that made it even more disappointing.
Wow.
Because it was just really bad. And here's the thing. So one cunty of me to be able to see that through, because I always wondered and would always be wondering, you know, I mean, I'm not going to end up with the man.
No.
But here's the thing. I think that it is a bad sign when a guy pretty much just wants to film constantly. Constantly.
During the act.
Yeah. So I knew that was a thing for him, but I've come across not many, but it's almost like they're more focused on filming than actually having sex.
And like, why do they want to film so bad? Where are they going to put this?
Yeah, exactly. So it just, I feel like I did things I didn't want to, and then just nobody was happy at the end.
Oh my God.
There was no completion
for either of you
whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, I don't usually.
Oh
no, it was just bad. It was just bad. Red flags, bad. And I just felt, I was talking with my friend, like, after a bad sexual experience, you just feel so, like, your energy, because it's energy.
Yeah.
And you just feel awful. A great sexual experience, you feel like on top of the world. And that, I mean, that's very obvious, but it's just like, I just felt, ooh. And it took me a couple days to kind of like reset a little bit. Yeah. So, but, you know, can check that off my list. We'll never be doing that again.
Are you going to keep sexting him?
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, that's over.
No, not at all. Anyway, so that was my cuntiness. It was bad cunty for me.
Wow. That is very cunty. And he sounds like a cunt.
Yeah.
So we have really fun topic today. I put on our stories. Cindy and I were talking, okay, what topics do we want to talk about? We're like, definitely talk about crazy Mormon men. And we love shitting on men in general. Men are just the worst.
Yeah.
Not all men. Hashtag not all men. But, you know, there's enough of you that really do your sex dirty.
Yeah. And I saw this TikTok or someone complaining like, oh, it's such a trend to hate men. And listen up.
Listen.
For how many centuries have men been hating women?
Forever.
We're just making it for lost time.
Since the beginning of time.
Sorry.
Since they started blaming Eve for all of life's problems.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's going to take us a couple thousand more years to catch up to the hate.
Yeah.
Equality.
Yeah.
So we asked on our stories, what are some crazy things that Mormon men have said to you? And we did not make this gender exclusive. We said, if you are he, she, they, we want to hear it. Give us your experiences with some crazy Mormon men shit. things that Mormon men have said to you over the years. And I have skimmed through these. I have chosen my favorites, and Cindy has not read most of these. So it's good. It'll be fun to get some of her responses.
Yeah.
But maybe before we start, can you think of any like things that any Mormon men have said to you that have been crazy? Like anything that stands out right now?
Here's the thing. When we decided on this topic, I was like, I could think of some crazy shit that I've said.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's give you one, you know,
Mhm.
because I'll say,
Yeah.
like threatening to break up with my boyfriend because he wasn't going to the temple once a week.
That's valid.
Toxic. So toxic.
How dare you not go to the temple once a week? That just shows that you are a very bad person.
But no, I couldn't. And then the other one that I thought of was when I was 13, I was pulled into a meeting with someone from the stake. I don't remember what his calling. He said had some stake calling, and he called me to be the pianist for the primary in the Spanish ward at 13.
At 13 years old?
Yes, I was the pianist
What?
for the primary program in the Spanish program.
What?
The audacity of him to ask me to do that.
Was Dad bishop at the time?
Probably.
That's probably why. The connections.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably like, she'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he probably felt it was okay.
I did such a bad job. I literally played so many with like one finger.
I am a child of God.
But like, excuse me? You're going to pull a 13-year-old into a room and be like, so we'd like to call you to a very special calling.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You
Did you think of any?
Something crazy that I said, like the audacity of my Mormonness. I was living at home after I had my first 2 daughters, or we were living near home. And my mom was housing a friend of hers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this friend had just gotten baptized. Do you remember this? You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. I know exactly
So
the
our
situation.
friend had just gotten, it was our girlfriend. She had just gotten baptized, and she was living at my mom's house, and she started dating this guy who was not a member. I know, the horror. And this friend of ours had 2 young boys they would stay at the house, and they would go off on dates. And I remember my mom saying, I'm just really concerned that this friend, let's call her Joy. So Joy was going off on joy rides with this man, and leaving her boys at home to sleep. And that's fine because they were being watched. And I remember Mom coming to me and saying, I'm just really concerned that basically they're having premarital sex, like they're going off to have sex, and I don't feel comfortable with that, and I don't know how to talk to her about it. So she asked me to come along with her to have a conversation. Okay, this woman was in her 30s. I was in my early 20s. Okay, the man she was dating was in his 40s. Okay, we sit down and have a very serious conversation with them at our dinner table. And we're just sitting there, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at him, and I said, you guys, basically I said, you guys should not be having sex. You're not even married.
It's funny because I remember that conversation happening. Because I remember I have this image of a very contentious conversation happening in the kitchen at the table, but I wasn't allowed to be a part of it.
No.
But I remember you were pissed. You were
I was
pissed.
so
and it was
mad.
very serious. And I remember his face turning like a bright red.
And I think he even said something like, are you really asking me that? Like, he just looked at me as if, what gives you the right? And exactly. What gave me the right to interrogate him in that way?
But at the time,
no right whatsoever.
It was like, oh, yes. Stand up for your truth, Carly.
Mm-hmm. Stand ye firm in holy places.
That's so wild. I forgot about that.
Oh God, I'm so embarrassed by that. And that's just one of many. But let's get into the...
So now that we have acknowledged we have
also been crazy.
That we've been crazy Mormons,
mm-hmm.
Let's get into some some really detrimental things.
First response says, in my YSA ward, the Sunday school president told me I shouldn't teach the Old Testament because I didn't have the priesthood to help me understand it. Then why read the scriptures at all? If you need to have the priesthood to teach, to understand, then why even read the scriptures if you don't have the priesthood because you can't understand it? That's some bullshit.
Right.
Next, my brother-in-law told me to move when I sat at the head of the table during a casual family dinner because I wasn't the patriarch of the family. My dad didn't care, but my brother-in-law couldn't stand seeing a woman in a spot he weirdly equated with priesthood authority. I did not move. Good for you.
Yes, bitch.
Yes, queen. He also never asked women to pray at family gatherings, only worthy priesthood holders.
I think that he should be walking around with his pants down so everybody can see how big his dick is. Whip it out. Whip it out. You're such a man. Whip it out.
I remember
Clear pants.
just show us. Just wear clear pants. Yeah. Clear garments. Ew.
Ooh.
Gross. Good for you for not moving. I would not have moved either. I would be like,
No, you wouldn't have.
no, you're not telling me to move.
No.
It's literally a table. It's a chair. It means nothing. Okay? Get over yourself.
That's crazy. The way I would slap him.
He deserves a slap. A nice bitch slap.
He'd probably like it.
Probably. He's a cook. Next, they said, I am not a woman, Mormon or otherwise, but I was once having lunch with a Mormon coworker who commented, thank God for these beautiful mountains, to which I responded, God and plate tectonics. He proceeded to tell me how plate tectonics were a myth and carbon dating was inaccurate. To an atheist from California, that absolutely blew my mind.
Oh my God.
Earthquakes, not real.
What a confident guy. What a confident
Plate
guy.
tectonics are not real. We are actually not living on Earth's crust. We are living in the sand that the foolish man built. And that the wise man would now build his house upon a rock.
The pipeline of a Mormon to go, science. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. The pipeline is just a straight and narrow path for many.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
It's insane. But seriously, the confidence.
I just want an ounce of that.
The delusion.
Straight delusion. This is an adult man. All right. Next, she says, a woman's place is in the kitchen. He was also a gay LDS man. You know what? A woman's place is kicking your ass. Gay or otherwise. You know what? We don't discriminate. You say misogynistic shit, you deserve a foot up the ass. Oh, you probably would like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, never mind.
Show me your grinder.
We need to roast your grinder profile. Okay, next. We should give a little trigger warning for some of these because some of these involve some sexual assault, some very serious topics, but we're going to try to keep it light.
Okay.
But just a little trigger warning. I was only joking. Calm down after holding me down and feeling me up. I was only joking about raping you. That was just a joke.
Those are the men who will tickle children, and when they tell them to stop, yeah, it's very dark. It's very dark.
It is so
I'm just
dark.
kidding. Oh, I'm just messing around with you.
The rage I feel reading some of these, and I just want to punch them. I want to punch them in the throat.
Execution.
Exile.
Mm-hmm.
Go off to Epstein's Island. That's probably you would like it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
First and foremost. And always and forever.
What a joke.
Next, she says, I was on a first date with a guy that served on the same mission as me. We're both in our very early 20s, walking around Temple Square. All of a sudden, he stops walking and stares off into the distance. After 10-15 seconds, he says to me, I just got a revelation. I'm going to be the first mission president in China.
This just in. God is speaking to me right now. And babe, you're going to China. Pack your bags. Get ready. Get that Duolingo subscription and a prescription because you're batshit crazy.
Wow, that was some flow. Bars.
Not China.
China. Mission president?
He must think he has a really big dick because, like, to be a mission president in China, it's untouched territory.
Wow. I want like an update on some of these guys. Where are they now? Where are they now? They are in a hole somewhere trying to learn Chinese, hoping they get called to be a mission president.
I cannot. But I have had some Mormon men be like, I know you're not supposed to aspire to be a mission president, but I do aspire to be.
Why? Who would want that job?
And I'm like, I'm not going to join you on that journey.
No, thanks. Have fun. Let me know how that goes. Okay, next he says, craziest embarrassing thing. When I was first assistant in the priest quorum, the bishop revealed that every other priest was suffering from self-harm, which he had to explain meant masturbation, and not what everyone else in the world would think he meant, and that I needed to figure out a way to get them to stop. Have you heard that reference in regards to masturbation?
Never.
So it's usually called self-abuse. Like this is 80s, 90s rhetoric.
Where K. Packer?
Self-abuse. You're abusing
that book?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Two Young Men Only or something. It's crazy. Self-abuse. Self-harm.
God, no wonder all of them are so
fucked up. Yeah. So that's men, Mormon men, you know, we give you a little bit of grace, a little bit, but not very much.
Just a tit. But men will then say, well, I was taught this. And it's like, yes, that's awful. But we had to get our shit together at 5.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, you need to grow.
Get some, seek help.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Oh, that makes me ill.
Isn't that gross?
That's really gross.
So gross. Self-abuse, self-harm. Gross. To get them to stop? God damn.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
Random tangent, but on my mission, my mission president made a formal announcement. So he would email once a week. All the missionaries would get an email from the mission president. Formal announcement. Elders, stop masturbating.
Take your hands off your dicks.
And I was like,
boys,
they're doing that?
Get
oh my gosh. What? What? On the Lord's time? On the Lord's time? Mind you, I just learned what masturbation was like 3 years prior.
You did. Your poor virgin, pure ears and eyes.
It makes me so sad. Oh.
Boys, get your hands off your dick. Get your hands out of your pants.
Elders.
And on the Book of Mormon. Okay.
Dig in a box.
Dick in a box. Dick in the Book of Mormon. Oh no. Oh my God. Even as sacrilegious as I am, that was a little much.
Whoa. We're going to be like... to be
struck down.
Yes.
And
from this podcast,
I read your mind. Yes. We're sisters.
God will be smiting us.
Smitten.
Yes, we're gonna be smitten.
God's gonna be a smitten kitten. Oh God, this one. Okay. When I left the church, my dad said to me, "It would have been a lot easier for me if you would have died."
Yeah.
And so. But she does go on to say, and like, this is also very serious because she also says, this is after I confided, he or she, I'm not sure. This is after I confided in him that deconstructing had pushed me to suicidal ideation. Okay. Holy
sounds
fuck.
Familiar.
It does sound familiar because I received a comment similar to that when I told my family, sent them an email said I was leaving the church, and I hold no resentment. I have no grudges. I am over this completely.
I gave into this rhetoric.
But I did receive a comment. I feel like I've lost a sister. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there looking around me, reading this response, and I'm still here. Mm-hmm. I'm still alive. Yeah. I'm still the same person. But I do get it, because it does feel very much like a death. Because you, even as a deconstructing person yourself, you feel like part of you is dying. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that's the only language we have to really express how truly heartbroken we are about something, as much as it hurts for the other person to hear it.
Yeah. My Mormon self, she did. Like, she did die. And it is a death in a lot of ways. But I just like I think it has so much to do with just the image of it all. Mm-hmm. You know, like he can't fathom saying that he has a daughter who left the church, and that just how that's perceived to people.
Because a lot of us as Mormons are not given the right language to express our feelings.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's always in terms of, there's no nuance. There's no really diving into why we feel those things, what's underneath that anger, what's underneath that grief, what the grief is trying to tell us. Mm-hmm. It's so much of, this would be better. Like, it would be better if you were dead. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Jesus, Joseph and Mary.
Yeah. Okay, so this one. A 19-year-old missionary interrupted Relief Society to rebuke them to wear their garments better. The caucasity for a white teenager to lecture a group of adult women on their underwear.
During a lesson? Mm-hmm. During a lesson.
Interrupted Relief Society to rebuke them.
Oh my God.
I want to know if anybody said anything, or if they just let him do it. And I'm sure that they did, because I probably would have been so shocked. I mean, maybe I would have gone along with it. I can't even imagine how I would have responded now.
Honestly, it was probably awkward for a few seconds, but they probably just like moved it right along. No one would have stood up for that the woman, because I'm thinking if I was in that room and a missionary did that, it would have been seen as like, oh, thank God you're here. Or thank goodness you're here.
He's rescuing them.
Thank goodness you're here.
Because he has more power than them.
You know, when just a few weeks ago, I think it was like an old video that was recirculating. This young girl was giving a talk in sacrament meeting, and it was all about how she was gay.
Oh, I saw that.
And they cut her mic off.
Of course.
Yeah. So
his mic needed to be cut. His just whole face needed to be cut off.
Yes,
his mouth.
Yes. Go home.
Go home. You're doing too much.
Early release immediately.
Go home with dishonor. Return with dishonor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Return with shame.
Wow. A lot of shame. I hope he feels that now. I don't know how long ago this was, but
I hope she's able to laugh about that now.
That's crazy.
That's a joke.
You can't be queer and a good person.
Okay.
Sounds like a you problem.
Sweet.
Put that on a shirt. Wear that out. See how well that goes for you. You can't be queer and a good person. We do not endorse that.
Oh my God.
Endorsed by Mormon Man Caucasity. Paid for by the Mormon Church.
Sponsored post.
Sponsored by the Mormon Church. And all of the audacity it gives me.
You can't be queer and be a good person.
Crazy.
You shouldn't be allowed to talk.
You should not be here, period. And, that's the problem. And this one, there were so many of these, but I'll read this one specifically to represent the rest of them. I prayed about it, and we are supposed to get married. We had literally been dating maybe 2 weeks. Joke's on me, though, because a year later, I straight up ended up telling my now husband I wanted to marry him 2 weeks in and got engaged at 8 weeks of dating. But, it wasn't because God told me to marry him. It's because he's hot and I was super horny. God had nothing to do with it, and no prayers were said. The self-awareness.
She reclaimed that.
She did.
And we stand that.
We sustain that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Horniness is next to godliness.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is for me.
Me too. This one. The most Peter Priesthood boy I dated basically said he couldn't marry me because my boobs weren't big enough. This is the same dude who also shamed me about modesty and would quite literally pull my skirt to my knees if it wasn't touching them.
Do her boobs need to be big enough for him to suckle on them?
Because
he's
newborn
still
baby.
Suckling on his mother's?
Uh-huh. Mommy.
That's insane work.
Isn't that?
That is insane
I
work.
can't.
These hoes just be saying anything.
Like, some of these I want to get up and just pace the room. Because it just fills me with...
Well, you're reading them, but you should... We'll watch this back. You're going to see my face.
Just zoom in on your face. The shock, and also it's not surprising, and yet it is so fucking crazy.
The skirt?
The skirt.
Okay, so now her underwear's showing because you're pulling her skirt down. Where's the logic, honey?
Do you want my thighs or my ass showing? What is it that you want from me? Get the fuck away from me.
Oh my God.
You piece of shit. I swear to God. Can you imagine if you had a son and if you found out he did something like that, what would you do?
God, I don't know. I've never had to think about that because I only have daughters. Mm-hmm. So I'm always thinking about the other side. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What would you do?
I do. I have 2 sons. And if I ever heard that they did something like that, I would slap them straight into Antarctica. I would slap them straight to outer darkness. I do not hit my children. I do not touch them like that. But I would bitch slap him so hard. I cannot imagine that. I don't think they would ever do that. But if I ever heard they were trying to do something like that, I'd be like, get out.
A sobering thought is that because these things are often just like kept secretive, like these comments, these conversations that these young women are like being subjected to. It's a very isolated experience. Yes, they're able to like share it now, probably years after the fact, but so many girls just stay in those situations and because it's just the culture of it.
Or they don't even realize that it's fucked up.
Yeah, until later.
A lot later.
Because you're just taught to accept.
Because the men have authority over you. Okay? Do we recognize that is a problem?
You're taught to be willing.
To teach members. And they'll be like, well, no, that's just one person that says, no, where do you think they get that from? Where do you think they get the idea that they can say these things to women and girls?
Yeah, and if you're specifically talking about skirt lengths,
and
it's
their
like
boob size,
you're showing yourself because it's just way too specific.
Oh
you know?
My God.
Bullshit.
This is crazy. Put a rubber band around your penis, and whenever you get the urge to masturbate, snap it. Said to me by my mission president when confessing to masturbation as a solution to curb the process. Tried it once, and I was like, fuck that, and never wore the rubber band again. I should have invested in some actual rubbers and got a mission girlfriend, like my companion. Okay, so first of all, I don't know where the mission president got the idea that it was supposed to be your penis, because I'm pretty sure it was like
your wrist.
Your wrist.
No, and that's a thing for many things.
Yes, for like, when you think about
actual self-harm, like
just thinking about just the idea of like putting a rubber band around your penis. Like did
so now you're actually harming yourself.
I'm just speechless.
Because
his mission president is probably really stupid.
That's a new one.
Because he probably misunderstood the whole concept of like snapping a wrist with a rubber band.
Probably. He's like, let's just cut it off right at the start.
Castration. Cut it off.
Oh my
Lorena Baba it.
God, that poor
boy. That's crazy. And that's why it is so infuriating when people some members will say, oh, the church doesn't teach that masturbation is harmful. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I was 21 and teaching like 30-year-old single men that they had to stop masturbating before they got baptized on my mission when I served in a singles ward.
Really?
Yes. Yes. And I remember feeling so awkward about it. And I remember this one kid who he was so great. Just such a cool kid. And we got to that lesson that we were supposed to say, you cannot masturbate anymore. And his face went white. Like,
wow, that's
like
so
I could tell
horrible.
he just felt really scared. Really scared.
Wow, that breaks my heart.
And he still got baptized.
Oh my God.
But what authority? Like,
wow. There's so much we could say about that topic.
So awful.
You have the body of a 12-year-old. When I was on a date with this Mormon man in college. Did you ever watch?
Did he get that off of Community?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
Did he get that off?
That is exactly my first thought.
Oh, he thinks he's being funny and original.
I got the body of a 12-year-old.
Yes, and he's like sitting at the bar.
Funny when Ken says it.
No.
Not funny when you say it.
Ew, was he saying it in a positive way?
I have no idea. But either way,
because
that's fucking weird.
Very weird.
Extremely weird.
Very weird. Okay, fuck off. Yikes.
Well, you have the body of a loser.
You have the body of a disappointment.
Straight disappointment. No curves of excitement anywhere.
Disappointment.
Yeah. Oh God, this one's wild. It's a bit long. I'm a man, just to get that context out of the way. Shortly after getting married to my wife, I was at my aunt and uncle's house. My uncle asked me to come up to his office because he wanted to show me something. When we got there, he proceeded to pull out some old-ass books from early church leaders. Like, these books look like they were contemporary with Joe Smith. Anyway, I wish I could remember the name of the book, but he proceeded to read to me from this chapter that was all about how, now that I'm married, I need to start working towards accruing my next wife. Spiritually, of course. And how, if I kept up faithfully, following the steps prescribed in this chapter around my worthiness, that I will be gifted wives without number to build my kingdom in heaven. I was literally speechless the entire time. I was so floored by the fact that this book existed, and even more so that my uncle had clearly devoted his life to this random chapter that guaranteed him a harem of celestial Mormon women to fuck for eternity. Needless to say, I generally avoid him now. That's the doctrine. I'm sorry, but
it is. It absolutely is.
That's Mormon doctrine.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They've just gotten better at covering it up. Mm-hmm.
They say it a different way.
Yeah, they say it a different way, but that's absolutely what's going to happen in the afterlife, according to them.
What did we talk about last episode? Is that Mormon women birth spirit babies in perpetuity, and that's because there's going to be multiple of you. There's multiple heavenly mothers, and men need women to get to the celestial kingdom. Okay.
No wonder these Mormon men have the audacity, because they're like, I'm just going to get another one of you.
Mm-hmm. And when I mean they need women, it's more, they need women as an accessory. It's literal trophies to present to God.
Yeah.
That is the whole D&C 132 business, where they talk about polygamy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They talk about celestial glory, and it's about men acquiring wives, multiple wives, to prove their righteousness. They're literally, it's like chattel slavery, I think is the term. And it's crazy because that is the doctrine.
How has it lasted this long?
Because they rebrand very well.
Yes, they do.
They rebrand very well. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this and you're like, that's not true, go read D&C 132. Wow, that rhymed. All right. This 55-year-old man, family friend, felt compelled to write me, a then 15-year-old girl, a letter and mail it to me, telling me how heartbroken he was to see me in a 2-piece swimsuit. It was 2 pages long, talking about modesty and my body. I was wrecked. I was such a good kid. All I felt was shame and embarrassment. The way that I want to hurt this man is, I can't even explain it.
Writing a letter to, how old was she?
15. He was 55.
It's giving, It's giving like abducted in plain sight.
Criminal. Oh my God, yes.
Like, I don't know, just any older Mormon man who approaches a young girl about really just don't speak to them. Don't speak to them at all.
That is wild. I'm so mad for this person. I am so mad.
God, how traumatizing.
That's disgusting.
That's so traumatizing.
Again, where is he now?
Oh
in prison, I hope.
Because then you're thinking, oh, he's looking at me.
Yes. Yes. And, oh, he has more authority, so that must mean God is also mad at me. For the way that I look, the way that I'm dressing, despite her being such a good kid. Like, that fills me with rage. Righteous rage.
He should receive a bag of shit on his doorstep.
Every day for the rest of his sad, lonely life. Mormons had it way harder than black people.
So just casual racism.
Yeah. So confidently said.
The superiority complex.
Combined with the persecution complex. And it goes kind of hand in hand with some Mormons that say saying the word Mormon is like saying the N-word.
Oh my God.
Because people have commented that on my page. And I just want to say, sit down.
Are you serious?
Yeah. People have said that. It was a reel that I made about conservative Mormon boys saying, don't say, oh my God, but then saying the N-word, like left and right.
Yeah, these are the people who don't understand that pronouns are just like a normal
They're afraid of pronouns. Mm-hmm. First of all, he told me we were supposed to get married. This was 4 days into texting me over a dating app. Again. No, you don't want to get married. You just want to fuck, and you can't. So you think you have to get married to fuck. That's what it is. Go jack off like you always do. Feel the shame, start the cycle over, and text another woman that you want to get married after texting her for 4 days.
Then it makes me wonder, is that kid, man, whatever, being shamed by his own father and saying, oh, you're not married yet? You need to get married?
Probably.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, there's probably a story there, I'm sure.
I remember it was one of the apostles came and spoke at a stake conference I think I was in Alpine at the time, living in Alpine. Mm-hmm. But he said something like, a man after a certain age, unmarried, is a threat to society.
Oh, it's because Brigham Young said once, after the age, I think it was 27, you're an unmarried man, you are a menace to society. Oh, okay. Dad would always say that. That's right. I remember him saying that a lot to Rob, our older brother, like in a joking way, but it was Brigham Young. That's quoting him. That's a real quote, by the way. Dating profile on the Mutual app. This is a direct quote from the screenshot I saved. Please consider us not a good fit if your BMI is not safe for pregnancy. I'm very family oriented and would want the children to have a safe mother. These dudes want cows. I mean, not in like the size, like they literally just want to herd cows.
Breeding machines.
They just want to have animals to breed. Because they're treating them as such.
Too bad. BMI's bullshit anyway.
BMI? What do you mean? Like BMI, bitch,
man,
incel?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what, bitch, man, incel. That's what BMI means. Mm-hmm. So
check yourself
before you wreck yourself, and you already have. Next, they said, no, the Bible isn't metaphors. Jonah isn't a metaphor. He was literally swallowed by a whale. How can you not understand that? Noah's Ark was real. I bear testimony of it.
I know that Noah gathered all the animals.
2 by 2. And God literally flooded the earth because y'all were so fucked up. Because people were crazy. So he legit murdered the entire planet. And said, you know what? Redo. Start over.
You know what? Psych.
He rage quit humanity. And was like, we're starting over.
But like, also valid for him to like only save the animals. Was it only the animals? There were other people.
And Noah's family.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And Noah's family was kind of fucked up too.
Oh my God.
And Jonah in a whale. I mean, really?
Good luck with that, babe.
You think a whale swallowed a man? My God.
Just watched one too many Disney movies.
Seriously. Like, these are fables, my guy. Okay, next they said, we need a photo of you for the ward menu. He was referring to the war directory as a menu because it's where all the men picked out wives. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg.
I vaguely remember visiting our older sister at BYU and the war directory being brought out and a vague memory of it being referred to as this is the menu.
Yeah. I do remember that as well. It's true. It's true, but also icky, weird, gross.
Yikes.
It's definitely giving Mark Zuckerberg Facebook right when it started, right?
Yeah, and the scary thing is now that's all online. Like because I haven't removed my records, my pics are
mine are still up there too.
Our pictures are still
oh my God.
on war directories. That's why you still get random calls or random
true.
texts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a confession. We have
Joke's
not
on you.
removed our records.
Yeah, joke's on you though, because I look nothing like that picture
I know.
anymore.
Neither do I.
Good luck finding me.
And I am not married, so it's not in there. You got to update that shit. This is the last one. They said, my husband at the time tried to have an affair unsuccessfully and was caught. He told me that he was looking elsewhere because I wasn't having sex with him anymore. FYI, we had sex 3 times the week he reached out to another woman. I told him sometimes we would slip into mother-son dynamic. Oh, preach, girl, preach. Where I was doing all of the cleaning, cooking, making appointments, and taking care of him. At that point, he had also been out of work for almost a year. God. And that it was hard to be in the mood when I felt like his mom. Oh, preach, 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 preach. Yes, girl. He responded, as my wife, you need to have sex with me, even when you don't want to. Lots of problems there. But sir, why do you want to have sex with someone who does not want to have sex with you? We're divorced, thank God, and haven't spoken in years. So good for you for getting out of that shit.
I'm very happy for her.
And unfortunately, that is
so
very common.
So unbelievably common.
Like, maybe not as blatant or as gross as the way he said it, but that dynamic, I don't want to have sex with you when I feel like your mom. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I just want every woman listening to raise their hand if they've ever felt this way, because a lot of us have. I remember my friend saying this so perfectly one time where I was kind of venting to her about something similar, not anywhere to this degree, but she said, oh yeah, I tell my husband, I don't have sex with children. And I was like, oh my God.
That's exactly
it.
What I was thinking when you were telling me. I'm like, sorry, I'm not a freak.
That's it.
Sorry, I'm not a pedophile. Sorry, I don't do pedo shit.
So listen up, men. If you're a man listening to this, and I would hope to God that you are not acting a fool by being a child, being a baby in your relationship, in your marriage. But if you are not pulling your weight domestically, if you are not taking care of your shit, helping out with the community household duties and management, if you are expecting your wife to clean up after you, to do your laundry, to remind you to do basic tasks, she's not going to want to fuck you.
Yeah. And at that point, you are living with your mother.
You want a mom, not a wife.
You never left your childhood home.
So get right. Get right, act right, and stop the bullshit. Because women are tired of it. We're tired of it. That kind of sums it up. That was quite the journey.
Wow.
Mormon men, I tell you.
They've been our number one predator for, most of our lives.
Men.
Because being raised in the Mormon church. So it is a specific brand.
So thank you so much for sharing your stories today. And
yeah, thank you. Thank you for having the guts.
Yeah. That's some bullshit. That's some crazy ass Mormon man bullshit. Just solidarity to all of you. And just be thankful that, most of you, I'm sure, out of the church. And for those of you living in Utah, thank your lucky stars that you don't have to interact with Mormon men very much. But they do have a certain kind of audacity. And good luck and Godspeed to those guys.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for all of your support and for your DMs and comments. And please, 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 if you have a minute, go rate us and review us. This is how our podcasts get out and get seen. And, the whole SEO thing. So rate, review, subscribe, like, all the things. Just click all the buttons. We love you, and we're so glad you're here. That's it for now. Until next time. Peace out.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.